Okay, so we're going to start off by looking at the DVR web interface. So we'll enable all the cameras that you've connected up to it. So as you can see here, we have 4 cameras. Camera 3 and camera 4 are the cameras that have PDZ. So we're mainly focusing on those. So if we take a look at the setup itself, if you go into the PDZ setup, which is in the system, you select PDZ, you'll have your channels depending on which camera is a PDZ camera you'll want to take a look at this. So ours is 3 and 4, so we'll take a look at camera 3. Now camera 3, the important things to take note here are the protocols and the address. These will also be important to take a note of, but normally these are the default settings. So it's just the protocol and the address number that you'll need to be wary of. These need to match up with the camera's web interface, not just the DVR. So the DVRs need to match their cameras. So we'll take a look at this one, which is the ABIS one on channel 3. So if we go into the camera, that camera's web interface, we'll take a look on this one, and as you can see here, we have the PDZ address set to 3, which is the same on the DVR's web interface, and we need to make sure to match up the correct protocol, which this one has been set to this one, and it matches the same here. So then the PDZ controls are connected correctly. Then you'll go on to channel 4. You'll need to match up this camera, which is a DVR PDZ camera, with the same settings as on its web interface. So we'll go over here. We can see this is the protocol, which matches the same, which we've sorted out and connected. It's the same as on the DVR. And then you'll look at the analog PDZ and just make sure that the address is set up correctly as well. Once that's done, you're pretty much good to go for PDZ control. You'll be able to take a look. If you click onto this camera and you use the PDZ controls, you'll see here that the camera, it knows which camera to use, and it will be able to be controlled. So here, doing this, it will do it correctly. See. So now the next step is to make sure it's working in Cathexis. In Cathexis, there's a few things that might need to be changed, but that will depend on the camera. And but for this specific DVR, you will need to make sure that these certain things are checked and unchecked. So we're going to be focusing. So the way to make sure that you get the correct camera selected is by the video inputs. So 1 is camera 1, 2, 3, 4 accordingly. So we'll just connect up all of them so that we have them all associated. So let me just do that quickly. For these camera 1 and 2, we don't have any PDZ, so we don't have to worry about setting a PDZ control for these. So once again, you can also make sure, if you want, it's probably better to just make sure you're using this when adding the other inputs. So 2 again, this one also does not have PDZ control, so you can just ignore those further steps. Just make sure you're setting everything up according to how you need it to. Here, this is camera 3. This one does have PDZ control that we need to make sure we have set up correctly. So we'll go next, and we'll go up to the PDZ control. All you have to do here is select Enable PDZ, and you'll be okay to go finish. That one is set up correctly. Then you'll need to do the next one, video 4, and you'll need to do the exact same thing. Make sure that you've set it up correctly just by enabling PDZ on this camera as well. So enable and everything, make sure it's on board, that's important. Other than that, nothing really needs to be changed there. And yeah, then you're ready to go. There is one thing you'll notice now. If it is working, I'll show you why and what you'll need to change. But here we have all the cameras in the order the same as the web interface. It can be different orders, but that's just for easier to be able to see. So now if we move this camera we'll see that there actually is no movement at all. There's a problem with it, and this is moving the incorrect one, and this is because we need to change a setting on these cameras. So going back to the cameras that each have PDZ, you'll need to go onto each one, go to video feeds, and click advanced. You'll need to disable legacy PDZ. That will fix the controls that control problems that we had just now. This is due to a change in the Dokua's firmware. So now that we've disabled both of those, you need to make sure you disable them on all PDZ cameras. Now you'll see that it will work accordingly on the correct camera. As you can see, both are working now correctly, and yeah, that's all that really needs to be done to make sure that PDZ controls are working.